Admiral of the Fleet Peter John Hill-Norton, Baron Hill-Norton GCB was a senior Royal Navy officer. He fought in the Second World War as gunnery officer in a cruiser operating on the western approaches and in the North Sea, taking part in the Norwegian Campaign, then in a cruiser taking part in the Arctic convoys, and finally in a battleship operating in the Eastern Fleet. After the war he commanded a destroyer and then an aircraft carrier. He served as First Sea Lord and Chief of the Naval Staff and then Chief of the Defense Staff in early 1970s. In the latter role he gave the final commitment to Project Cheveline, the Polaris missile improvement program. He went on to be chairman of the NATO Military Committee. Naval career. Born the son of Captain Martin John Norton RFC and Marjorie Burney Norton, Peter John Norton was educated at the Royal Naval College, Dartmouth, and the Royal Naval College, Greenwich. He joined the Royal Navy as a cadet in 1928 and, having been promoted to midshipman on the 1st of May 1932, was posted to the cruiser HMS London later that year. He transferred to the battleship HMS Rodney in September 1934 and, having been promoted to sub-lieutenant on the 1st of September 1935, he was posted to the battleship HMS Ramillies in August 1936. Promoted to lieutenant on the 1st of October 1936. He attended the gunnery course at the shore establishment HMS Excellent in 1939. Hill-Norton served during the Second World War, initially as a gunnery instructor at HMS Excellent and then as gunnery officer on the cruiser HMS Cairo operating on the western approaches and in the North Sea, and taking part in the Norwegian Campaign in spring 1940. He then transferred to the cruiser HMS Cumberland, which took part in the Arctic convoys. He joined the staff of the Gunnery Division at the Admiralty in 1943 and, having been promoted to Lieutenant Commander on the 1st of April 1944, became Gunnery Officer on the battleship HMS Howe operating in the Eastern Fleet later that year. With HMS Howe he took part in the attack on the Sakishima Islands. After the end of the war, Hill-Norton became gunnery officer on the cruiser HMS Nigeria in the South Atlantic and then, having been promoted to commander on the 31st of December 1947, he was posted to the Naval Ordnance Division at the Admiralty. He became executive officer of the aircraft carrier HMS Eagle in 1951 and participated in exercise Mainbrace. Promoted to captain on the 31st of December 1952, he was posted to Buenos Aires as naval attaché to Argentina, Paraguay and Uruguay in September 1953 before commanding the destroyer HMS Decoy during the Suez Crisis in 1956. He became head of the Weapon Equipment Section at the Admiralty in 1957 and director of the Tactical and Weapons Policy Division there in 1958. He was given command of the aircraft carrier HMS Ark Royal in October 1959, before being promoted to Rear Admiral on 8 January 1962 and being appointed Assistant Chief of Naval Staff in February 1962. He was appointed a Companion of the Order of the Bath in the 1964 New Year Honours. He was made Flag Officer Second in Command Far East Fleet in June 1964 during the Indonesia-Malaysia confrontation and, having been promoted to Vice Admiral on the 7th of August 1965, he became Deputy Chief of Defence Staff at the Ministry of Defence in 1966. He was advanced to Knight Commander of the Order of the Bath in the 1967 New Year honors, becoming second Sea Lord and Chief of Naval Personnel in January 1967. It was in this capacity that he took the brave decision to abolish the Royal Navy's traditional daily rum ration. He went on to be Vice Chief of the Naval Staff in August 1967 and, having been promoted to full Admiral on the 1st of October 1968, he became Commander-in-Chief Far East Command in March 1969. He was advanced to Knighthood Cross of the Order of the Bath in the 1970 birthday honors. Hill-Norton was swiftly propelled into the post of First Sea Lord and Chief of the Naval Staff in July 1970 and then, having been promoted to Admiral of the Fleet on the 12th of March 1971, into the post of Chief of the Defence Staff in April 1971 following the unexpected early retirement of Sir Michael Lafanu due to ill health. In the latter role he gave the final commitment to Project Cheveline, the Polaris Missile Improvement Program. He became chairman of the NATO Military Committee in 1974, remaining in the post until his retirement in 1977. Later career. Hill-Norton was made a life peer as Baron Hill-Norton of South Nutfield in the county of Surrey in February 1979, and took an active role at the House of Lords as a crossbencher. He was president of the Sea Cadet Association, chairman of the Royal Navy Club of 1765 and AMP 1785, a liveryman of the Shipwrights Company and a freeman of the City of London. He authored a book entitled No Soft Options: The Politico-Military Realities of NATO in 1978 and another entitled Sea Power: Story of Warships and Navies in 1982. He also narrated a series on sea power for BBC television in 1985. In later years he took an interest in UFOs, writing about them and expressing concern in Parliament about the potential destruction of files on them. Hill-Norton's interests included gardening and shooting. He lived at Hyde near Fording Bridge in Hampshire and died of a heart attack at Studland Bay in Dorset on the 16th of May 2004. Family. In 1936 he married Eileen Linds Tower. They had one son and one daughter.